If you guys were tuned in last week, you already know that we started a whole new segment, Monday Morning Memories. And much to my surprise, people actually enjoyed my stories. I hear I can be quite the storyteller. So, we're going to keep it going. As you guys probably already know, the pilot is never the same as the rest of them, right? And Andrew was pretty set up for this. He had this little sign right here that I finally put up behind me. He made a little board, like when you're mugshot. Well, man, that's probably not the best. Yeah. Either way, he was ready to go. Now we got to change a couple things. Like, I don't know, only 2 little words. Other than that, should be about the same. So, without further ado, here's your Monday morning memory. All right, guys, I hope you appreciate that because it probably took me longer to change those couple of words than it's going to take to film this entire thing. But, down the bar again. Haven't done anything down here except for change that sign. But I've been thinking about some things. I like to show some stuff off, guys. Like, maybe Gene Winfield and Sam Foose sign the dashboard of your 49 Dodge. That's pretty dope. But, guys, we're not there yet. We're not there yet at all. We are actually only on my first car. So, there you go right there, 77 Trans Am. There's my little brother Joey holding a cat that he definitely tormented for a while. Not on purpose. He just loved it too much. And, guys, the Rolling Stones. Come on, right? This thing was all right. Clean inside. Come on, right? Clean outside. Until I got my hands on it. Because I'm going to go over to my Pop's book here for a second. And look at that stud right there, huh? We'll find it. There's the tail end of it right there. Probably after some bad decision making, but she didn't. There's Joe again, and she didn't end up with the root beer brown. There's a reason she was in primer, and you guys can probably figure out what it is. But hey, remember last episode I mentioned that car show? Chip, you and Anthony. This is my cousin Landon's. She's in front of a super dope 55 Chevy. There's that studly dude again. Billy, sitting in front of a little coupe there. Tons of fun, guys. Tons of fun. So when I was 13, we left Long Island and I moved up to the Poconos, right? I mean, with my parents, because like at 13 you don't do it by yourself. But we're up there, met my buddy Mark, and every summer we would go to his grandparents' house down in Philadelphia, right? His grandfather was an old Navy vet. Dude was cool as hell. He had like the Popeye tattoo and everything. And he coached a college girls softball team. I'm sure you can understand why we wanted to go over there. So we go hang out with him, and it was great, right? We go down there for about, I think it was a week. We go every year. And take us over to D'Alessandro's for some cheesesteaks and whatnot. It was cool. Just cool to be like, especially like, I was living up in the mountains, go down to the city a little bit. It was just cool. So the one summer when I was 14, my dad hits me up, says, "Hey, I'm gonna come pick you up a day early. Somebody was coming to visit." And I said, "Okay, sure, I'll be ready to go." So I was all ready, and so he talked to my buddy Mark first, who could not keep a secret. All right. So he says, "Hey, your dad is coming to pick you up in a 67 Trans Am." I said, "What? Where did you get a six?" First, there was no Trans Am in 67. Mark's not a car guy, right? But, and I knew that I was into Trans Ams, smoking a Bandit, guys. Come on, right? And I said, "What? That doesn't make any sense." He said, "Yeah, it's yours. He got it for you. So I was like, whoa, wait a minute. What's going on here, right? So I'm like, all right, let's see how this goes. So he shows up in the 77 Trans Am, and I was like, Mark doesn't listen very well. And I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. I got to act like I don't know about this, though, right? Luckily, guys, I was, plenty of acting experience, right? So we're sitting in the car and get out of the neighborhood. We're on the drive, on the highway, whatever. And he's like, hey, so you like this car? I said, yeah. He's like, it's yours. I said, it's mine. What do you mean, how's it mine? What are you talking about? So I've been working for a while and, we saved money. And I didn't save money. So my old man would hold it for me, right? And he said, all that money you've been saving. There you go. And I was like, wow. And even though I knew it, I didn't know it. You know what I mean? So I was like, this is awesome. He's like, yeah, we could do this, this, and this. And he's telling me it's got a 400 in it with a 4-barrel. And, it was automatic. And I was like, this is great. Yeah, we're going to put the bird back on the hood. And we're going to do all this stuff. I said, all right. I'm stoked, right? I get home. My mom's like, did you tell him? Whatever. It was cool. So when your 14-year-old kid has a 13-year-old brother and they like to get in trouble together, Ma, you should have known this. Don't leave the keys. So my dad worked like an hour away. My mom was tied to her desk at work, only, no kidding, 5 minutes from the house. She worked in the little development we lived in at the rental office there. So we knew as long as we didn't go down the main drag and by the rental office, we were fine. I had no idea how to drive a car. But we get into it. We fire it up and we're like back and forth in the driveway. Then we got a little bit more ballsy, So we were on this corner and there was like a little street there. I come out of there and it was a small street that went back to the big street. And I don't know what happened, but this thing had a little go, right? I hit the gas a little too much around the corner, some gravel. We had a giant boulder, no kidding, guys, it was the size of the car in the front yard. I don't know how we didn't take this thing out. Well, it would have probably taken us out, but we slide to a stop. I remember looking at my brother. I was like, you thought we were going to hit that boulder. He's like, you thought we were going to hit that boulder. So I got better over time. But backtrack a little bit. My dad used to tell us the stories that he never should have told us when he would go and steal my grandfather's car from the train station in New York. And he put the gas back where it was, all that. My grandfather always knew because of the mileage. So my dad told me this. So I kind of knew he'd be checking the mileage. So anytime we took it out, I'd disconnect the speedometer. So the mileage stayed the same. And we got away with it. So I thought. And then a couple years after that, about a year after that, I was 15. I had no license or nothing like that. It's a bad snowstorm. We go down. My aunt lived right by us as well. My dad took a Jeep he had, took my mom, my aunt to work. We come back and me and Anthony and him get after the shoveling, right? We go to my aunt's house. We shovel her car out. My dad throws me the keys to her little Ford Escort and says, hey, follow me. And I looked at him like, Dad, I don't have a license. He's like, you going to act like you don't know how to drive a car? I'm looking at Anthony without trying to look at Anthony. And Anthony's letting me look, I don't know what to do here, man. So he's like, hey, drive the car. Don't be a pain in the ass. You really want to have this conversation? And I was like, I got in the car and I followed him. He never spoke a word about it again. Ever. So I don't know if he knew when he was trying to test me. I don't know what it was. But it was, after that, game on for driving. Well, kind of. I eventually got my ass kicked for it. Anthony ratted me out, which I get it. I ratted him out, so karma, right? Well, I had this thing. I had this car for 4 years, all through high school. I didn't drive it as much as I would have liked to because, if you guys know, Pocono Mountains, big ski resorts, snows a lot, car didn't go nowhere. So in the winter, I didn't drive it. That's for another episode. But summer game on. I had that. My buddy Mark Pomeroy had a 67 Mustang. Steve had the 84 Mustang. Later on, he had the 5-liter. Everybody, Jevin had a 69 Chevelle. Chris had an old square body Chevy. I mean, God, we all had something. Johnny Cappuccino, he had the little Beamer. And we got a story for that one too. But it was like an 83, 318, something like that. We all had cool cars, man, you know. Well, Chris, besides that square body, he had a Dodge Spirit. It was his mom's car, but a 5-speed with a turbo. That thing would get it. So we're always out tearing stuff up, having a great time. So I was on a first date with my ex-girlfriend, who I'm still friends with today. But we were going bowling. We went back and forth between Stroudsburg and East Stroudsburg, trying to find somewhere that didn't have leagues going on. Well, we come off of Main Street, and this dude's there, and he's like hitting it up where he wants to get after it. And I'm like, no, can't have any of that. So she says, what would you do if I wasn't with you? I said, I'd blow his doors off. And she's like, well, race him. So I freaking race this dude. I whip him, obviously, right? Well, we come down Lower Main Street, and there's a cop. Apparently, they lowered the speed limit. They put a cop there. So this guy gets behind me. I'm getting it, right? So I'm not even in Stroudsburg anymore by the time he catches me. I'm in East Stroudsburg, over the bridge. He pulls me over. I pull in like the Ames parking lot, or whatever that was over there. I'm like, son of a bitch, man. I got my license in June. It's September, right? I'm like, oh, man, here we go. So he comes up. He says, I got you doing 40 and a 25. I said, yep, write it down. I was doing every bit of 85 mile an hour, right? So he gives me the ticket. She's upset because I was like, whatever, don't worry about it. You know, no big deal. She's like, oh, I made you do it. I said, you're fine. I was going to do it anyways. Well, a week later, my parents go out for like an anniversary dinner. And I'm asleep, okay? My mom comes home, comes in my bedroom, and she's like, Charlie, you got to be careful. On Lower Main Street, there's a cop there, whatever. And all I heard was Lower Main Street cop. And I was like, yeah, Mom, sorry, I'm going to tell you. Tell us what are you talking about? Well, I got a ticket. You got a ticket? My dad wasn't even mad that I got a ticket. He was mad that I didn't tell him the cop was there, so he wouldn't have got a ticket. He got him 41. I guess there was a whole speed trap. They already printed it out. Well, 41 was actually points in your license or whatever. And he was not happy. But we're coming home one day. This is right after that. This is all like within like a couple months of me just having a license, which was probably a terrible plan. Whoever said I should do that. But me and my brother Anthony are coming home from football practice. I drop off my buddy Dennis, and we're driving back. It's raining like a son of a bitch too, right? And you come down this hill that was later named Chaz Hill, by the way. But we're coming down this hill. And I slid a little bit because it was, slick. And I said, dude, if I pulled the e-brake right now, we would slide all the way down this hill. He says, and nobody believes this. Not one person in my family believes this because Anthony's crazy. He's like, dude, that's a terrible idea. Don't do that. I was like, no, for real, you want to see? He's like, no, I don't want to see. Don't do it. So I did it. Well, we start hydroplaning down this thing. And I'm pulling the release. It's one of the foot ones, right? I'm pulling the release, it ain't coming up. I'm like, oh man. So we come down off the road in the ditch on the right-hand side. Boom, hit out, come back over the road like this. Nose down the ditch on this side. The car comes down, there's like a tree. It's like just holding this thing kind of from going over. It's on its side. It's a freaking mess. Anthony's like, and of course, as it stops, dunk, the thing comes up. I'm like, oh, you son of a bitch. So we're trying to get out of the car, hold the door up. And I never forget this, guys. The first time ever, I was listening to Megadeth, and the first time I ever let it switch to the other side, like from Symphony of Destruction and all that, is when that happened. To this day, guys, that was 1993. I haven't listened to the other side of that tape since. Never. The only time it ever happened, I was like 4 seconds into it when I crashed. So we get out of there. think a cop came by or something. Maybe he took us home. I somehow remember my mom not being notified and being very upset by this. We didn't have cell phones or nothing, right? My buddy Derek, his father had this giant rig, tilde bed, winch on it, all that stuff. So he winches us out of there, and we get the car home. My mom's pissed. My dad comes home. He's pissed. So they asked what happened. The cop asked me what happened. I said, something ran out in front of me, and it scared me. I hit the brakes. He's like, what was it? I said, something small. A squirrel or something. I don't know, rabbit, something. It kind of just startled me. So I don't know that he believed me. I know my old man didn't believe me. Because as soon as my dad got home, he said, you go in that room, you over here. He asked me what happened. I told him the same story I told the cop. Something small. He goes to the other room, Anthony, what happened? Dad, this giant freaking deer comes out of the woods, right? He's like, nah. So we messed both sides got a little bit smacked up, and paint was all jagged and everything. And it was 77 here in the 90s, right? In Pennsylvania, so the quarters started to go a little bit. So I took it off the road, cut all the rust out of it. I didn't have a welder, so I just had some sheet metal, so I made it fit and pop riveted it all together, and then we made it work with body filler. And it looked great in primer, right? Went through all that. You can see this, they didn't have the snowflake wheels. We had the aluminum slots. Deep dish in the rear, guys. I mean, this was didn't have the vinyl seats. It was like somebody sewed in some kind of tweed, which was just super dope. In the picture there, you see it had the old stereo, just an AM FM. No 8-track, that was an option. That was a little thing on the bottom, just had a little cubby. Ended up with the Craco pullout. All right, if you didn't know what pullout was, if you weren't walking around my high school with a stereo in your hand, don't even show up, you know. So we got that all done. I was in primer. I was thinking all these cool colors like I don't know, Night Watch Blue or something other than what all the Trans Ams were painted. I was going to do it, and I kind of fell out of love with the car, and by this time I had an SUV, I was looking at Mustangs, I was looking at all sorts of stuff, and I joined the Navy. And my dad said, you're not going to have cars laying all over the frickin' house while you're gone. That's not going to happen. So I sold it. There was a couple of issues along the way. There was one time where it overheated on me because what's the heater hose or something like that, or the water pump. There was a water pump. I limped it home. Didn't call my parents. They came to find us. They were not happy with that. It took a couple hours to get home that day, and they were pissed. So there's a lot of little stories that I remember driving this car. But I ended up selling it to a guy. My dad was at a dealership. That's where he got the car from. Well, not the same dealership. Those guys, they kind of bounce around a little. So he left the dealership he was at where I bought the car, or he bought the car from. And then we went, he was at a local dealership, right by the school. And the guy that delivered the detailing products and stuff loved the car. My dad would take it every now and then. I think he took it because I was selling it, yeah. Guy loved it. He buys the thing. And I remember my father came and picked me up from school that day. Maybe he had me drive it down. I forget. But he picked me up from school. I get in his car, and the guy's with us in the car. So we got 3 grown people in a Trans Am. That's not a solid plan, just so you know. But we come out of there, and my dad's putting along, and he's like, just so you know, it gets great gas mileage as long as you drive it like this. And the guy's like, yeah, I ain't worried about that. So he ended up, he got it, he sold it, everything was done, boom, whatever. That night, my father gets a phone call. The dude blew the motor driving it home. And I said, man, that thing was solid. My father was like, you had a lifter ticket in that thing for as long as I can remember. I pointed out to the guy, he wasn't worried about it. I thought that honey stuff I poured in got rid of that, but maybe not. So I don't know what happened with it after that, but I made a couple dollars on it. I had a cool car for my first car. I mean, smoking the Bandit Trans Am, right? And yeah. that was a lot of guys are always like, oh, you want your first car back or whatever, and I fell out of love with it for a reason. It's a cool car, but styles change over the years. Well, your style changes. Mine changes every time I turn around. So, I don't know that I'd ever buy it back. I wouldn't mind driving it again because it was fun. And well, that's another Monday morning memory. Hope you guys like. Guys, my bad. That went a little bit longer than I planned on it, so we're gonna try and tone it down. So how do I fix that? By coming back on here, tell you more stuff. But you're gonna dig this. I've been talking about it. The kids been mentioning it. We've been trying. I've been hearing a lot of guff about it. You guys want some merch? So you guys know we have stickers. All you gotta do is shoot us an email. We'll right here. We'll put it right there. Shoot us an email there, and we'll send you out some stickers. So we got the ones you guys always see. I don't have any on me, but the kid will put a picture of it right here. Then we got these guys the kid come up with. The Tuesday morning tech tip. So we got these and these big ones, and we got some little like 1-inch ones. Same with the original stickers. We got big ones, the normal size or whatever that you guys have seen. And then we got a 1-inch one. Then you guys have, I've been on them. I've been on them. You know I've been on them. Guys, he did a t-shirt. So here's the back, right? The black and white version of our logo. And I don't know if you guys caught it lately. A couple episodes I was wearing a new hat. And that's where this logo comes from. So he did some apparently he did some work, guys. So if you're supposed to have like your big logo and your small logo. So that's what we got for shirts. And we got the hats, guys. I've been checking this out. So if you guys are interested, just leave a comment, let us know. We'll start making them up. We'll see how to get them distributed, I think is what they call it in the biz. So finally here, guys, I'm digging it.